What's up, guys? We are back in analog, and I'm going to show you some neat little things we can do with it still. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the amplifier envelope by clicking here. Let's give it a listen. Alright, so I have my sound here, and then what I want to do is I want to add a sub-oscillator. Traditionally, this is the frequency of the original oscillator split in half. So we're an octave down. Alright, so with that, we play in both. Right, and there's that, which is really fun. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to route this oscillator to filter 1, which it already is. I'm going to add a bit of higher end stuff. Right, there's that. Right, so we have some resonance going on. I want to route this gentleman to filter 2, which is down here. And I'll have to turn our amplifier on. We have a separate kind of amplifier down here as opposed to this one. They're two different ones. This is our kind of default mixer section. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to, I'll just bring that down, boost it up. Alright, so we got, we'll go 24 dB. Alright, so we'll play them both. So we have what you would call, I don't know, a analog-y sound. Let's create another one just for funsies. Alright, so I'm going to have two saws. I'm going to have them separated at birth. Separate this one. I'm going to detune one of them. Wait, I'm going to set this there. Right, so we have two saws going on at once. I'm going to detune one of them. Right, so there's a bit of movement. Now I'm going to pan them left and right. So you have 80s stuff going on. We can modulate. We'll have different modulations for each one. Alright, we'll do that. So for, what do I want to do with LFO 1? Yeah, let's map this to our detune here. That slightly like that. We'll have LFO 2 to this. Right, so LFO 1 can only modulate oscillator 1, and LFO 2 can only modulate oscillator 2. So we got some weird movement type stuff there. And we can go even crazier. Actually, I'll just turn the LFOs off. So we get into our voicing section, which is about here, and this is vibrato. We have the amount and the rate. So we'll go 10 times per second. It'll vibrate. Not too much. So we have that. What I want to do now is show you. Yeah, that's more of an analog type thing. So you'd have a very slight amount of vibrato and a slow rate, and that will emulate oscillator drift and stuff like that. So you get kind of an analog sound, much like we already have. Alright, so we want to beef this sound up, and that is done with Unison. So what Unison is it splits the synth up into parts. So we're effectively doubling this. So we have our saw wave 1 and saw wave 2, one is detuned from another, right? So if we doubled this up twice and we detuned that instance, we would be getting unison, and the detune amount is here. So we effectively have 4 saw waves going on at once. We can adjust the voices here to 4 voices, right? Unison, 4 voices. So each kind of section, each module has its own context sensitive option here. So now we have effectively 8 saw waves going on at once. Clipping, but it's only for funsies. So effectively now we have trance, if that's what you're into. I'll just grab another one here. Alright, so we're going to have glide mode, and what this does is it sets it to, we have one voice now. Legato, one voice. What's going on? Yeah. What happens is when we go up from one note to another, the pitch tracking takes a while to keep up. What the heck is going on here? Working. Oh, I have to set it to mono. Sorry, I have to set the voices to mono. The amount, the time it takes for the pitch tracking to work. You know, very slow or very fast. My apologies, that is an epic fail. So you have to select voices. Voice count is how many notes you can play simultaneously. And you can have 2, which is like a duophonic. So let's turn that off. You can only play 2 at once, 2 voices at once. We can have up to 32 voices at once. So generally, you're kind of, it's limitless. And when we have mono, we cannot have, when we're in mono or 2 voices, we can't have unison. But we can once we get up and all that fun stuff. We can globally detune the entire instance, which could be useful if you're going for that analog kind of feel. We have a tuning error, which emulates oscillator drift. Right, you hear that? It just kind of goes around. It's like a synthesizer that needs to be, you know, serviced. We can, you know, transpose the full instance by octave and semitone. We have pitch bend range from, you know, 0 to 2, so that's your pitch bend. That's the range. And yes, we have vibrato. We can change the vibrato section. All right, so we have quick routing here. Now this is just a quick way to route it. I prefer to route things manually, but you can change if you want 50-50, both going into filter 1, both going into filter 2. We can have like different kind of things here, and it's just a quick routing menu, and you can just kind of go through it. I like to do things manually. I'm a fan of that. And there's that. I think that's basically everything. So basically, you have your sound generators on the left, and then those go into filter, either filter 1 or filter 2 or both, or each one going into the separate one at the same time. The reason for that is you can have 2 resonance points and mix and match your resonance, so you get an interesting sound with even more harmonics. You have your filter section, which then goes into your amplifier section, and you have a lot of stuff here. And you have your modulation section, two LFOs, which can be mapped to a lot of things, to volume or amplitude level, to resonance, to your frequency of your filters, to your pitch, to your pulse width, and yeah, there's that, and your volume with your quick routing and detune capabilities. So generally, yeah, it's a two oscillator synth, 2 filter synth, 2 amplifiers, and 2 LFOs, and that's basically what it is, plus a noise generator. But it's a really nice synth to get into. And remember, you go left to right. All right, I hope you learned a lot of stuff, and we're going to be back with some more stuff. All right, have a good one.